Well, good morning. Do you want to see how we made these two toolbox stands? Stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Oh, welcome to Memphis Monday 329, week 17 of year 7. Today we got an interesting project. We're going to build two toolbox stands that'll be on rollers, and for the toolboxes we've built, the wooden toolboxes, like 2 weeks ago we built a toolbox for my brother. I got to thinking, thing needs a stand, so I got a toolbox just like it, so I'm going to build one for myself too. But we're not going to get any of that work done unless we do what? That's right, we need to knock off that chit chat and get to work. Here's a toolbox I built for my brother. So we're going to be building a stand for. It's got these little clips on the side, hold down the top. It's got this little area here to put stuff in, and it's got these 100% pull-out drawers. And here's the one I built for myself. It's almost identical, a little different color. The problem with it is that it has to be low enough where you can get in this top bend here, and the thing needs to be on a stand so you can move it around. I have it on this little work stand here, but we want something a little fancier and with some storage in it. This is the scheme I've come up with. It'll be a little stand with 3 drawers down here at the bottom, and then a slide out work area that goes off to the right. It's about a little over 2 feet across this way, about 2 feet this way. It's almost square. And it'll have heavy duty hardware. I've already got both carcasses finished, and I went ahead and I got to thinking it would be almost impossible to explain how all this works. This top part has that slide out work area here. How all that works would be kind of hard to explain. It's got a removable top here and all that stuff. So I went ahead and put this on here so we could talk about it as we do it. And so here I've just moved that same toolbox over here on this temporary stand. And I moved our 2 project pieces over here on the workbench. What I'm going to do now is take this top here off. This is kind of an interesting feature, and I'll show you how it works inside. One thing I can show you on the outside is that this is essentially a drawer that pulls out, and it's got a flat surface on it, so you can put tools on it while you're working. Now, the problem is that if I just put that top in there, glued it, and nailed it in place, I wouldn't be able to get to the mechanisms on the inside of this drawer here. So I've made this top here removable. So this top is only held on with 4 screws in the corners, and they're pre-drilled and set in place so you can remove them. So now if I need to service the inside of this drawer here, I just take this top off and get down in here into the mechanisms. So this sliding piece here is just held in place just like a normal drawer with these drawer slides. And this framework here is solid oak held in with pocket holes. Okay, let's build this mechanism here for the other carcass. Let me cover a question that you probably have in your mind right now. Why didn't I just continue this plywood all the way up to the top here? And the same thing on the other side. Well, the answer is, first of all, I want to be able to nail into solid oak, screw into solid oak with that removable top. But mostly, the problem was I couldn't do that on this side, and I couldn't do it on this side, obviously. So I had no way to install this floor to stabilize the box. Okay, the first thing I need to do is cut this piece right here. It extends the full length of the carcass, and it's 4 3/4 inches wide. Now, one more thing. I haven't talked about the carcasses themselves. This is 2 sheets of exterior plywood glued together. They were temporarily screwed, and then the screws were taken out. That allows the sides to be attached directly to the bottom, and that attachment is done with glue and pocket holes into the bottom. Now this thick bottom gives you the strength you need for a toolbox stand, and it also allows you to attach the wheels with lag bolts directly into the bottom. It also leaves a clean bottom here with no nail holes or anything, because the bottom, the sides are attached directly to it. So it's like that all the way around. This top board is longer than the other boards, because it also makes up the front, the trim for the front. So it's 3/4 of an inch wider. It won't have pocket screws in it like the others. Okay, we got this front board. This corresponds to this board right here. Now we need to put this side board on. And that'll go right in here. And this one will be held in with pocket holes. Oh, we got that top thing finished. Now I'm making the little slide out tool tray, and that's just a ring of plywood that I'm going to sandwich between this 1/2-inch plywood here and glue it and nail it. And some folks might think that maybe that rig with that 1/2-inch plywood sandwiched between those, that other thing wouldn't be strong. But that's the system I used for this rig here. I've got these slide out deals that are made the same way, and they're even wider. And they hold these heavy toolboxes. Got them on both sides. I haven't got the trim on yet, but I'm still going to go ahead and put the drawer guides in. I thought I'd show you a couple of tips I use. I've shown this 100 times, but I always get new viewers. First tip is I cut these little spacers. That gets I can make sure that my lines are exactly parallel with the cabinet. And I've simply put a spacer in here and then go along and draw the line. Then I can center my drawer guide right on it. And then I'll put the second spacer in there right next to it and draw another line and so forth until I get my lines drawn. Second tip is when you're putting drawer guides in, if you can, now you can't do this if you've got a pre-installed cabinet or something, but if you got a cabinet that you're building on a workbench, lay it over where you can lay your drawer guide out flat. I'm going to go ahead and put the wheels on so we can get both cabinets up on the wheels. These wheels are kind of an overkill. They're ball bearing. They got the locking mechanism. They're ball bearing down in here on the bearing surface. I think they're rated for like 1,000 pounds a piece. But I think it's one of those deals where it might be overkill, but at the end of the day, you're never going to say, boy, I wish I hadn't put those wheels on there. Because these will really make this thing convenient. I got both cabinets set up on wheels. Kind of taking it out of order, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make the drawer boxes here. I haven't even got the trim on, I haven't done any sanding, but I'm going to do the boxes and we'll have them done. Here's a little schematic on a drawer spacing if the drawers are all the same size. If they're not all the same size, then this spacing doesn't work. But if conveniently all your drawers are the same size, all you do is divide your cabinet space, your interior space, into how many ever zones, how many ever drawers you have. I have 3, so I divide it into 3 zones. And then find the center line of each zone. That's what we marked there with the spacers. That's the reason that first spacer was smaller than the second one. And then after you do this, then conveniently, you can simply find the center line of your drawer box where you can put the drawer side of the drawer pull and mount your drawer pull right on that center line. Got the drawer fronts finished, and the slide out boxes are done, of course. Now I think we have one more thing to build. Let me show you. I've already got one of these done. Need to do the other one. This is the removable top that's attached with these 4 screws on the corners. It's just essentially a little rectangle with some oak trim around it, and we'll roll it over with the router. So now to free up my hands, so I don't have to think about that, I've clamped this piece of trim to the to the piece, so I can concentrate on putting these nails in straight. First thing they got to be perpendicular to the piece, and pretty much exactly centered, or they're going to blow out. It didn't blow out, but it wasn't centered. That one's centered. Oh, I got the tops. I got that top finished. I still need to put some sandpaper to it. I got the drawers out. Of course, I already showed you the stuff over here. What I'm doing here is staining the cases. This thing has a lot of moving parts, and so I'm kind of staining as I go. Making 2 of them. And funny thing is, they're 2 different colors. One is light and one is dark. And I'm afraid I'm going to stain some parts the wrong color. Well, I got all the parts done. Now we start putting this thing together. I think the big job left is to install the drawer fronts. I'll get the boxes in, and we'll go through that procedure. So the drawer boxes are in. Now I need to put the drawer fronts in here. And it's a tight squeeze. Let me show you how we do that. First thing we do is flip this thing over on its back without wrecking it. So by flipping them over, I can lay the drawer fronts out just the way I want them, get the spacing just right. And then I've already drilled holes through the fronts here that will be holding the knurled stainless handles I'll be putting on. But in the meantime, I'll use those holes to hold the drawer fronts in place while I attach them from the other side. And for that, I like to use drywall screws because they go in so easy. As a matter of fact, I can't think of any other reason to use drywall screws for anything. So don't beat me up for using drywall screws. They're not good for anything but holding stuff. Okay, now the drawer fronts are temporarily in place. I can flip it over on its wheels again and attach the drawer fronts correctly from the other side. Okay, the next thing is, now we have this attached. Just take out these temporary screws. These are the drywall screws. And drill these holes all the way through. All the drawers in. Now we'll go ahead and take them off. The whole thing's off the bench, and you can put the toolboxes on top and see what they look like. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 329. Today we built these two toolbox stands with 5-inch, large 5-inch locking wheels. They all have these 100% pull-out drawers, and put this little tool slide out so you can put stuff up on there. A couple of weeks ago we built the toolbox. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 329. Today we built a couple of toolbox stands. You roll them around the shop. Got a little pull-out tray, 3 drawers, 10,000 year guarantee, and I think they're going to work out fine. I still have to put polyurethane on them, but that takes forever. But I think you got the idea. Hope you got some takeaways. Like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. And most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.